For many years, the media has been filled with discussions about allergies, a condition defined as an abnormal sensitivity to substances that are otherwise harmless to most people. Common ailments such as hay fever, asthma, hives, and even migraine headaches are often attributed to allergies. These conditions are said to result from the body's inappropriate reaction to everyday substances like pollen, food, or even skin cells. Take hay fever as an example. Millions of people in the United States alone suffer from allergic symptoms, often triggered by pollen from various plants like ragweed, grasses, or cedar trees. While some can afford to escape to less pollen-heavy regions or install air conditioning with pollen filters in their homes, many sufferers are left to endure these symptoms daily, sneezing and cursing their misfortune. But is the pollen itself the real enemy, or is there something deeper at play? One theory suggests that the body produces antibodies, substances intended to fight off harmful bacteria or viruses in response to these harmless substances. According to this idea, the same immune response designed to protect us from dangerous germs gets triggered by benign elements like pollen or food proteins, leading to the release of toxins within the body and the onset of allergic reactions. For example, someone who eats eggs might produce antibodies against the egg protein, which, upon a second exposure, triggers a response that leads to the allergic symptoms we know all too well. However, while this theory has gained traction in medical circles, it doesn't quite explain everything. The notion that our environment is inherently harmful, or that our bodies are designed to overreact to harmless substances, seems far-fetched. Shouldn't we be looking at what makes someone susceptible to these reactions in the first place? Let's take a deeper look at what happens when the body develops these sensitivities. In the case of hay fever, the lining of the nose becomes inflamed, leading to heightened sensitivity to environmental factors. This inflammation is not the result of the pollen itself, but of an underlying condition that causes the membranes to react abnormally. The problem lies not in the pollen, but in the chronic inflammation that pre-exists in the body, making it more vulnerable to external irritants. In many cases, the root cause of this inflammation is toxemia, a buildup of toxins in the body due to poor lifestyle choices, improper digestion, and stress. As the body struggles to cope with this internal pollution, symptoms of allergies, asthma, and other ailments begin to emerge. For example, an individual suffering from asthma may have developed their condition over time through repeated respiratory infections, improper digestion, and chronic inflammation in the lungs. This inflammation renders the bronchial membranes hypersensitive to stimuli, similar to how hay fever affects the nasal membranes. Rather than focusing on the external irritants like pollen or pet dander, we must address the toxins that are causing the inflammation in the first place. One compelling case from a health school in Brooklyn, New York, illustrates this point. A man who had spent years in Arizona trying to alleviate his asthma found relief within 3 weeks of attending the school. Previously, even the presence of a cat in the same room would trigger an asthma attack. But after addressing the underlying issues, detoxifying the body, and restoring health, the man was able to hold a cat without experiencing any symptoms. This profound shift wasn't because the cat had suddenly become harmless, but because the man's sensitivity had been reduced by eliminating the root cause, toxemia. It's clear that running from allergens or installing air purifiers is not the ultimate solution. Instead, the goal should be to restore health, allowing the body to function normally and respond appropriately to its environment. Why live in fear of everyday substances like eggs, pollen, or even your spouse's hair, when the real issue can be addressed through proper care and lifestyle adjustments? So, what about food allergies? Egg allergies, for example, are often a result of impaired digestion or overeating. In a healthy digestive system, Proteins from eggs are broken down and transformed into forms that the body can safely use. However, when digestion is compromised, undigested proteins enter the bloodstream and act as toxins, triggering an allergic reaction. It's important to understand that all proteins, whether from eggs or other sources, must be fully digested before they can nourish the body. If they aren't, they can become poisonous. This same concept applies to many allergens. The body is designed to thrive in its natural environment, and the normal elements of this environment, whether pollen, food, or pets, should not cause discomfort in a healthy person. When resistance is restored and the body is free from toxins, these former sensitivities vanish. To overcome these conditions, we must eliminate the underlying toxemia that contributes to inflammation and sensitivity. This approach goes beyond managing symptoms and instead seeks to address the root cause. The key to restoring health is not in avoiding the environment, but in restoring the body's natural balance. By focusing on detoxifying the system, improving digestion, and making healthier choices, you can rid yourself of these chronic conditions and return to a state of vitality. The path to recovery may not always be easy, but as history has shown, it is achievable. The message is clear. The normal person is meant to thrive in their natural environment. By restoring balance to the body, we can overcome sensitivities and enjoy life without being constantly on the defensive against the world around us.